Hello, today is June 5th, 2022. It is a Sunday. Welcome once again to another episode of Misfits of the Galaxy, a vlog series where I ramble and amble about a prospective campaign I intend on running for my fellow members of the Isle of Misfit Rolls podcast. If you haven't heard of us before, I'll put links down below. We're in our second season right now and have transitioned over to a Twitch live stream format for those that want to consume the media through that content or format rather than the traditional podcast one. If you want to jump into our live stream, it will be taking place typically every Tuesday between 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, of course PM, and typically goes to about 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you got about get between 2.5 to 3 hours to spare on a Tuesday night, we'd love to have you. It's been quite the ride, to say the very least, and I'm certain that you would enjoy it. And you can typically jump right in to season 2 if you don't want to listen to season 1, although I strongly recommend it, as Jake, one of the players, does an excellent job at doing recaps and did a very large recap at the start of season 2 for those viewers and listeners that just want to jump right in. So this is a bits and bobs episode, in a manner of speaking. I got two things I'm going to two subjects I'm going to address, and the first is, I guess I'm going to go with, is a prospective patron for the group. Not a warlock patron, but like a patron, somebody that will provide them with quests and jobs and missions and the like. A rather creepy and sinister one, who the party would have to question their morality to work with. And if they don't want to work with them, that's fine. They could very much be an antagonist or a villain for some of the stories. And the second is, I finally came up with like how I kind of want to start the campaign, and I got a sort of prologue that I'm going to ramble about a little bit. But with that being said, this is the second time I've tried to record this. The first time, for some reason, none of the audio recorded, which really sucked, because that means I have to do this a second time. But hopefully I don't have to do third time's a charm, because last time this clocked at just over 23 minutes. Maybe I can get the information out a little bit faster this time. So the first thing, of course, is the prospective patrons, NPC, antagonist, and the like. A creature of dubious morality, simply known as the Flayed One. The Flayed One is a lich, and unlike your traditional lich, who is typically nothing but bones, this is a lich where the flesh is still intact. But the strange part about it is it appears as if all the skin has been flayed off of said flesh, peeled away in one fashion or another. Um, this character is a bit of a homage to Almas. If you're familiar with our Isle of Misfit Rolls podcast, as Almas is a Githyanki diviner wizard who is like, rather than having your traditional spellbook, has tattoos all across his flesh as a spellbook. So the Flayed One in life was very similar in that respect. They kept their spellbook as inscribed as tattoos upon their skin. In death, however, they had to find a way to preserve said spellbook, and so rather than leaving it upon their bones and rotting flesh, they had themselves skinned, flayed, and then the skin properly preserved. As with most liches and other undead wizards and the like, the Flayed One has an obsession with magical items and spells that it has yet to learn, and so it tries to amass a magical library with its unique way of writing magical formulas as tattoos, it has had to find new methods of storing said spells, which in this case is uh, it it takes live captives as apprentices and effectively uses them as spell books, slowly and meticulously tattooing additional spells upon their skin in hopes of adding to its library. These apprentices, unfortunately, typically reach an untimely demise when they run out of when they run out of aforementioned space on their skin for additional magical tattoos. At which point the Flayed One proceeds to extract the spell book and preserve it within its magical library, which is more of a museum or mausoleum where all these skins are like stretched across the walls with the intricate tattoos on full display, typically behind a layer of thick glass that's probably enchanted to be harder than diamonds. The the Flayed One has an assistant that assists him in preserving and maintaining said skins, which are extremely fragile. A gnomish necromancer by the name of Mortis, who has an obsession with skin and skincare products. This is actually a character that Q, if you've been listening to our podcast, who plays Tay in the first season and played Quill briefly in the second season, he created this character for a Out of the Abyss campaign that I ran a few years ago. Very creepy little gnome. And I've decided, you know what, he deserves a recast here as an NPC. So Mortis carefully preserves and maintains the skins for the Flayed One. And both of the individuals are very creepy, very sinister, very malevolent, with the Flayed One's emotions being deadened and dulled due to being undead, and Mortis being a little bit mentally unstable, obviously. This character makes an excellent patron, not a warlock patron, although I suppose it could be a patron to a warlock of the undying. Uh, but more of the Flayed One is always searching for magical items and spells that it doesn't have in its repertoire, and so is willing to pay quite well and quite handsomely for these things. The Flayed One is unable to really travel the space lanes like the adventurers can, due to the fact that it's all its spell books and the like are probably contained within its library slash mausoleum slash museum, maybe located on an asteroid or perhaps even on the necropolis world of Thanatos, which I'm thinking of changing the name to Mortis. Maybe he's even stationed on a Maw station somewhere, like his home is on a Maw station somewhere. I haven't decided where to position him quite yet. This character, this villainous character, is naturally only going to be used for if the players are morally dubious, since I'm very likely going to introduce them when they get first introduced to the Flayed One. They'll have an apprentice who's nearing their end, since they're almost completely covered in tattoos. Go off on a mission or two, come back. That apprentice is gone, and they have a new, younger apprentice whose skin is unmarred by any sort of tattooing whatsoever. You know, hints like that where the party quickly starts to realize that this something horrible's going on, and they have to question as to whether or not they're going to continue to do business with the Flayed One, or if they are going to try to fight it, which could be proved to be exceedingly dangerous since the Flayed One is a powerful lich. Do they want to try to rescue the latest apprentice before it's too late? Do they just simply not want to do business with them anymore? Or is their greed going to get the better of them? Who knows? That's up to the party, really. I am even thinking that the phylactery for the Flayed One might actually be hidden in plain sight in its library. One of its skin that was once inscribed with magical tattoos in a similar fashion to the ones in its collection is actually its phylactery. So it would be displayed amongst the rest of them, kind of like hidden amongst the the displays, in a manner of speaking, which I think might be a really cool way to do it. So I'm hoping to get some input on that NPC. See if people think it's a little too creepy, or whether or not it might be thematically appropriate or not. I was hoping for some sort of creepy Ravenloft style vibe with it. So with that said, I've decided on what sort of the main plot for the campaign that I'm kind of driving towards at this point, or at least the start of the campaign. And that was inspired actually by a cinematic trailer I recently watched for Fables 2 of the Pirates of the Aetherial Sea by Ghostfire Gaming. Uh, it's a really catchy tune. It's all about pirates on the sea near the Drake Isles. It just sounds really cool. And with that in mind, I said, you know what? Space pirates. I'm going to go with space pirates, and I'm hoping that there's a bit of content for space piracy in the Spelljammer box set that's coming up, so that I can utilize that. So, with that in mind, I was hemming and hawing as to what to do, like what the initial plot hook was going to be, and I've decided I'm going to go with a Treasure Island style or Treasure Planet style plot hook. Uh, where there's going to be a deathbed confession from a former pirate about a place where there's a bountiful treasure, and while the names might be changed, there's going to be like a legend behind it in the campaign setting, where like over a century ago, a notorious pirate captain by the name of Captain Blackheart. As I said, I'll probably be changing the names. And the crew of the Ravening Maw. I'm not overly happy about that ship name yet. I might change it later. Took a Avendor galleon full of gold and silver and other precious and precious gems. Avendor is the name of the star system that's at the center of the Elven Empire, and so the Elven Empire is sometimes referred to as the Avendor Empire. So one of their ships clearly got hit. Blackheart couldn't make planetfall or dock at any starports with such a large prize, and so with the Avendor Navy looking for him and in hot pursuit. So he set a course into the black, the darkness between stars. The voyage was fraught with peril as strange anomalies messed with their navigation systems. Um, Demons and specters that lurk within the black attacked their vessel, but worst of all were the terrible storms that rendered large tears in the side of the Maw's hull, exposing it to the void of like multiple decks to the void of space, and causing severe damage. The Ravening Maw managed to limp itself into an slowly into an uncharted star system. With the treasure still intact, Captain Blackheart put the ravening maw into high orbit around a planet that appeared to be uninhabited, but capable of supporting life. The captain then split his crew into two groups. One group was supposed to repair the ravening maw. The other one was going to make planetfall with him, and to resupply, reprovision, and also to uh, bury their treasure. The idea was once the ravening maw was space worthy again, they would take a small portion of the treasure and leave the system with it, leaving the rest behind hidden on this planet, where away from greedy eyes. So, however, when they left the star system, according to legend, the storms knocked them off course again, and their navigational systems got all messed up, and they could never find the system again. And according to legend, Captain Blackheart and his crew spent the rest of their lives traveling the space lanes, or traveling to Black in search of their treasure, their lost treasure. This is the legend, a legend, a story that has been recorded in the world, or the verse. That's not actually what happened. The plot hook for the campaign is that the ship, the Ravening Maw, was beyond repair with what meager supplies they had, or what supplies they excuse me, what supplies they had. And so what they did was several members of the crew were given a portion of the treasure and set back into back in a known space on a shuttle, like a sort of, like, I guess you call it a lifeboat or a rowboat, like a small shuttle. Their goal was to find a spaceport where they could hire a crew or hire a ship, no questions asked, to come back with supplies and either repair the Ravening Maw there or tow it to the nearest starport. So the plan was, of course, once the other crew arrived, Captain Blackheart and the crew of the Ravening Maw would kill them so that no one else knew where their treasure was. This didn't happen, as the untrusty crew members who left in the shuttle made a pact among themselves to split the treasure that they brought with them, and to abandon their fellow crewmates and the captain on that on uncharted star in that uncharted star system. Well, this is like quite a bit of time later. The last member of that crew, or group of shipmates who made that pact, is on his deathbed and is making a deathbed confession about what actually happened, and is trying to persuade the player characters to make an expedition to that uncharted system, to lay his former comrades to rest, in hopes of seeking some redemption in the afterlife himself. Clearly, the party, the carrot approach to this would be that the dying pirate is saying, "Well, you can keep the treasure that we hid there," right? Very treasure planet / treasure island style plot hook. So they'll have to hire a ship to take them out into the inky black to an uncharted system to try to retrieve to bury the dead pirates and to retrieve Captain Blackheart's treasure. Of course, there's going to be other people who might be aware of the legend of Captain Blackheart's treasure and might try to follow them or stop them in some fashion or other, in hopes of getting the treasure themselves. Regardless, that is kind of like what I'm thinking as the elevator pitch / start for the campaign. It's obviously inspired by Treasure Island and a few pirate style adventures that I've stumbled across over the years. If I can find if I can figure out where exactly I got most of it from, I'll give kudos to them, and I'll put a link in the next episode. But yeah, I kind of think that this would be a good way to start a space pirate campaign where the adventurers actually are committing acts of piracy and traveling the space, exploring worlds in a very sort of sandbox style approach and what have you. After playing the Isle Misfit Rolls campaign, where it's you are like the destined heroes trying to save the world from a a menace that threatens to consume all life. Bit of a spoiler there, I'm sorry, but it's I think that's the second episode of the first season is where that kind of that grand reveal happens. After that, I think that giving the characters no ensuring that they don't have that sense of urgency and letting them do their own thing might be prudent for the next campaign, at least initially. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think of what I'm working with or planning to work with. Love to hear it. I think that's everything. I actually managed to wrap this up like a minute less than last time. So till next time, gentle viewers. May your D20s always roll a critical. Take care.